Hello and welcome back to my channel, I guess. Today I'm going to be doing some 1v1 replay analysis for Current, specifically in its match against Zoomer Kid, also known as Rat. Diamond 1, 1v1 is the rank here, and we're going to be looking at just like things that Current can improve and also maybe kind of things like in specific in this matchup that he could do better against Zoomer Kid, but mostly we're just going to be looking at mistakes on Current's part and what he could do to improve. So this is, I think, like game 4 in their best of 7 or something. So Current would be, yeah, Current's winning 2-1 right now in the series. Okay, well, yeah. So yeah, first thing I have to say it. I can't just ignore it. Like, Zoomer is flipping here, and then like look at this. He just gets a massive win because of how much faster he is to the ball than Current. Like he's way like how Current is. He has to rely on a dunk, and you just can't rely on that consistently on every kickoff. He just doesn't really get it, and you usually won't get it. Especially if your opponent knows that you're slower. So at this point, Zoomer knows you're slower to this kickoff. So if this is just your standard kickoff, that's really not going to cut it as you really get into diamond in ones. So trying to do what Zoomer's doing here, practice those speed flips. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Like this isn't fancy from Zoomer or anything, but it gets the job done. Also, when you usually like on this specific kickoff, this one or the one that's like at the back. But like when you grab this pad, you should probably like just not use any boost from this point on. Unless it's like you actually need to use it. But like from here you should like you have 12, but you start tapping it here as well. And this doesn't help you at all. Now it's minor, but it puts you down to 6 boost. And this goes in your net anyways, but that still could make a difference. And actually it doesn't go in your net. But still could be a difference. Here, yeah. I mean, aerial plays are fine to go for, but like when you have this much time and the ball's getting away from you, you can definitely just come to the ground with this. Like it's when your opponent is giving you this much space, unless you're like super confident in your aerials, like I might try and do something with this, but most likely, especially if it's getting away from you, you can just come down around the mid boost and like shoot it from there, and that's not going to commit you this far, and it's also going to give you a more reliable play on the ball. Because if we look from Zoomer's point of view, like it's very obvious he's not going to be in any trouble here. However, if you had like stayed with this ball, then if you stayed with this ball, then he'd have to be like forced to push up, and you might have been able to like get it past him, or he would be forced to just like go back, and then you do whatever you want over here, or a mix. But like since he's going so far back here, he's not pressuring here. If you just came down, here, like either he does this or he goes back. That's pretty much his only options. So if you're on the ground here, you can cover both of those. If he goes back, you just keep going, and if he goes up, then you can still make a play on this ball. You have control of it. And you do have enough boost to make a play here, especially when you just get the 100 boost. And like another thing about this is the boost management. Like you're just giving away the ball here. Like you have time right now, you have 100 boost off this corner. 100. And then sure, you can use some of it on this wall, but like you definitely, I think he did pick up mid boost. Might be a glitch. Yeah, he picked up mid boost, but you had like 100 boost to make a play on this ball, and you did this, and this is just commits you super far out of the play. Now you need to get back. Now you're 0 boost, and this is like good shadowing, but it's just like you ran out of boost, and then more boost management stuff. It's like you're getting some small pads. But like, so here's one small, you're 20. But like, why are you just randomly tapping boost? Like, every time you use boost, it should be like for a reason, especially when you're low boost, because you keep collecting pads and then just putting yourself back to 0 for no reason. Like, you have 3 boosts. Sure, you missed a couple pads, you know, could work on that. But like, why are you like using this boost right now? Like, sure, you want to like cover the net, but it just feels like you're holding it as soon as you get it back, and then you do it again. Like, you're just being kind of desperate in this play, and just assuming that, you know, that you can play this out into the corner, and you can win a 50 or do something with that ball. But you have to like realize that this is a position where it's not really like something you need to be desperate in. This is fine if you grab this pad and turn back, because like Zoomer, he can't really have an angle on net like, wherever he goes, unless he turns back this way. But then, like, by the time you get back, you can like push that, you know, push the play that way. Kind of confusing arrows. But like when you're 0 boost here, you don't want to just be like holding boost as soon as you grab this pad, because he's clearly beating you to this ball. As long as you shadow him, force him to do something, because he can't really do anything here, you're gonna be fine. So just managing that boost more effectively. Definitely should not be using this pad, because then now you're in big trouble. If you had just been chilling there, fake challenging, getting the boost, 12 boost is fine. Like, you can get back to this. But now you're still in a really bad spot. And you might not even still had possession off that, because Zoomer had more boost and he was faster. But it's just, thinking the long term, it would have been better. Mostly, it's like you're thinking about one situation that you just want to go good or bad, but there's not always like a good or bad. There's like in between. There's slightly good, slightly bad, less bad. You know, it's less of a risk. And then here you still have 0 boost. Yeah, it makes sense for you to go for that. Then now you have some sort of dribble. And yeah, the ground control could use a little work. Like once you get this here, of course, like, sure, this is good. But again, when you have this much space, and I've noticed this so far, I'll just go into a fly for a bit here. So when you have like this much space, oops. Yeah, when you have this much space, like, look where he is. He's right here. He's also flipping, and he's going this way. Does it look like you can go here and you're in trouble? Like, no, you can go anywhere you want, and then, like, even if you make your path to like here, then he starts challenging you, then sure, that's a good spot. But like, it's very clear that he's going back here, or if he's gonna make this turn, it's gonna be very telegraphed. You're gonna know it, and it's gonna have to be like a 90-degree turn, of which you just get some height on it. It goes over him, or if he makes this 90-degree turn and then you go like skirt, and then he goes yeet, you know. But this is like a good situation for you, because he's giving you so much space, and what you want to do with this space is give yourself kind of an angle to shoot at, instead of what you're doing is just going this way. And you know, that's not really a problem with Zuma, because he knows exactly what he's gonna have to do here. Like, he can do whatever he wants to make that challenge on his current path. But what if you went this way? Because he can't turn around. He can't just do a 180. If he did a 180, he'd be going like 2 miles per hour. Then you just pop it and like zoom. But yeah, when you have this much space, you should be trying to dribble this ball on an angle. So this is something that Spook Luke says a lot. Don't be driving straight on towards the net when you have especially this time to set up your dribble. But instead, pick like a side, or, you know, go for something. Be side on to the ball so you can get a direction change. So let's say, I think this makes the most sense just for safety reasons, but if you come along like here, and I don't know why I'm drawing this line here, but like have the ball kind of like this, and then it's on the right side of your car as you're dribbling it. And then if he comes here, the ball being on the right side of your car, you can do a front flip or diagonal flick that goes this way, and that'll get it over him. And you always have the threat of direction changing this way. And that's how fakes work. Because if he's turning this way, and you're coming along on this line, and you're about to flick this, or you're about to cut it just in this way in general, he's gonna be like, oh crap. He's gonna dive. He's gonna panic because you're about to touch the ball past him while he's driving to the left, and you touch it to the right. And then what happens is, whoop, you just go right to this. Oh, he sees this little spike here. Dives for the ball. And that's how fakes work, because you're on the left side of the ball, about to threatening a direction change to the right, or you could just fake it and push it through. And what you're doing here is just a straight on dribble, which you can't flick it left or right. You can only flick it straight, and that's not really going to be a problem for him because he can read that angle. So I know I'm doing the thing where I over-explain stuff, but when you're in this situation, you have time. They're nowhere near. Try to set up your dribbles to either be, from this side or from this side. And again, you might think, well, why would you want to go from this side? It's because he is not going to do a 180-degree turn. Like, if he does a 180-degree turn, like, you're just going to hit it over him. Or if he starts backing up, you're just going to hit it over him. So this still works, because he's giving you so much space. And just giving that angle, direction changes. If you're just right behind the ball, you hit it straight. But if you're like say the ball's right here. If your car's right here, you hit it straight, okay? But what if your car's like right here? You can still hit it straight. You can hit it this way. You can probably get under the ball if you just maybe like go around like this, or go around like that. And yeah, just something to, I think, try and do instead of this forward dribbling. Because you're kind of doing this correctly. You're on the left side of the ball, like here. But right here, you have to be like, your play needs to be like direction change to the right. Or you could like fake the direction change to the right and like continue to the backboard when he flies by. And that could give you an open net. But like what you do here, like, you didn't, like, I kind of see that's kind of what you did. And it kind of worked. But when you do this, I think it's like the direction change is not here. Like, this isn't a direction change. This is just a shot. If you direction change it here, he's going here. Like, it's a bit difficult to, like, say, but, like, if you direction change it right here, just don't, your direction change isn't, like, here or here. Your direction change is here. And you're not supposed to, like, bang this ball or anything. But if you just touch it, like, control it this way, like, he's not doing this. Like, there's no way he's stopping his car to do a 90-degree turn. Like, he has to have momentum to cover this part. So if he's going here, and you bring it this way, then now you're, like, in such a good position, because he's defending from this post, and you're, like, coming in with an angle with the ball on the corner of your car. You could get another situation like this, and now you've put him lower boost, you've put him in an awkward position. And I just think trying to, like, make those early direction changes, because this is very easy to see. So yeah, just trying to make these early direction changes, because what you might not realize, because it's like something that it's not like obvious that you'll just pick up, but it'll come with like time, you'll start to realize this, is when you're, wait, why is my thing so small? What the heck? Alright. Anyways, when this is, happening, you're both doing this kind of push. This is like a good time to make this direction change. Just like a light touch to the right to keep control of it, like bounce dribbling. I think that would be a good practice, like doing stuff like this, timing the bounce, power slide cuts, all the spook loop stuff. Now, and okay, you missed the ball. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. So yeah, shadowing this ball. This is... Oh my god! Okay, well... He's insane. I mean, this is, like, correct that you are shadowing it, but, like, look how far away you are. When you're shadowing the ball, it's, like, a very specific amount of distance. Probably you want to be, like, around here when he's, like, over here. Just the amount of distance that if he gets a flick, you'll be able to get back in time. And your, like, wiggles will actually threaten him as much as possible. Because right now, this, like, does he look, like, scared to you? No. The only reason he goes for a musty here is because you're so far away that he has time to set it up. And sure, he ends up missing it, but this is, like, still a defensive mistake for you. Because what you end up doing here, I'll replay this one more time, is when he has this dribble, you run away to here, and then you stop. And you stop here, and you wait for him to come to you. Like, he knows, he can see you, he knows what you're doing, and then he can time his shot for when he gets close enough to you that you can challenge. You just wait here, he comes this way, oh, now you go. That was your idea, but if as he's coming here, you need to be, like, shadowing alongside him. And shadowing, it's kind of scary, but it's like you have to be at the correct distance to where you're still threatening them to challenge, but it's also far enough away to be able to get back if they do something. And this is, like, very far away, especially when you're already driving backwards. You already have 100 boost. You can definitely get back if you're, like, over here and he flicks it, you know. So fake challenging or shadow defense in general, trying to be, and if you're, like, going back as well, if you're, like, too far away, I think at this point you can't stop. Like, you never stop. If you want to, like, slow down a bit to close the gap, but never just stop, because then that's him knowing exactly where you are and you can't, like, do anything while you're stopped. That gives him time to set stuff up. If you're just slowing down, then you still have movement, and that's still going to be a threat. Movement is a threat because you can convert movement into a turn. You cannot, if you're directly stopped, it's like, nah, you're not. You just can't challenge. But if you have speed, you can turn faster than if you stop and then you start going this way. So, and I think when this happens, you need to use some boost to fake challenge here. You need to match his speed on the thing, and you just stop and then you do this, and that's, like, really bad. So people tend to not use boost in shadow defense, but I mean, I think it's definitely, like, better to not use boost. Of course, if you're more efficient, then don't use boost if you don't have to. But also, to make these fake challenges more convincing, to keep your speed up, you might want to tap it a few times, just to be a little threatening. And that's just kind of what happens. You're going so slow because you slowed down before, and you didn't speed back up. And that's how he gets it past you. And that's just a good demo. Again. Now, yeah, so it's fine if you're going for, like, an aerial play to be doing this, just the straight on, but, like, this is not, you know, if you're going from this side, then either you fake it into the near post, or you can, like, cut it behind him into the far post whenever he starts to challenge it. Like, the thing about ones is, like, this is so overpowered. Just direction changes. You watch a Flakes video, like a Spook Luke video also has, like, a lot of this stuff. He loves to say, you know, dribbling on an angle and doing these bounce dribbles. You come this way, and then whenever he comes for the ball, you just head it to the left, and you can still follow that up. And even if he gets dunked, like, that's not going to be dangerous for you because it's still getting pushed back here. And it's not like you're massively committing to something. You can still turn back and guard it. Now, if you want to go for an aerial, like, sure, like, air dribble towards that, or do whatever. And, you know, that's not really something that you'd try to do on an angle, I guess, unless you want to use the 200 boost air dribble all the way over here, just get that curve on it, which still could be a good idea, but basically, you know, if you get a solid air dribble, flip reset or something from this, it would work out, but for your current state of mechanics, like, this is not really something I would go for. I think it would be more dependable on the diagonal dribbling, cutting it, and making your plays. I would recommend watching Flakes play like the 1v1 road SSL without mechanics type stuff, like kind of the stuff that he does, and you could ask me about it. Or, you know, if this is fine. Like don't get me wrong. Like, doing this is okay, but like, you need to actually be able to do it, and this is like, you shouldn't be going for this if you can't do it. Like, this is just unnecessarily risky. And you might see, like, me going for this, you might see, like, Apop going for this, but when you're going for an aerial play, the chances of scoring need to be 50% or higher. And I don't think you're 50% consistent with air dribbles like this. Whereas someone like me might be, so that's why you might see me going for it. Because if you score it, you score it, and if you don't score it, you get scored on. So it's got to be a 50% chance of you scoring it, pretty much. More or less. I mean, sometimes you can get away with 40%, but especially, like, imagine if you have a 1-goal lead. Like, no, you're not going to be taking those risks. And then, you know, Zoomer kind of doesn't get it back fast enough there. He kind of doesn't have the greatest control here. And, you know, zero boost management, mentioned it earlier. Like, this is okay to use the boost in the net because you really need to get your way back as fast as possible. But get pads here. Like, there's so many pads you can get. You can go, like, along this way. You can get, like, this pad. Not this pad. This one's kind of too far away. Like, Zoomer might have a shot here. Like, you do need to get back quickly. But when the pads are, like, right there, like, why are you doing, like, you just, okay, you did pick that up, but why are you, like, flipping there? If you're gonna flip here, it has to be, like, a speed flip. It has to be, like, quick recovery. And if you're gonna go for this pad here, you don't want to be, like, going that way. You want to be, like, going this way, so you can get back to net. And this is just sprouts from the overcommit and over flipping, and Zoomer misses his flick, so you're fine. That's a good touch there, and then, yeah, that's fine. Like, that's just a good shot. That's the type of aerials where it's, like, not really committing to stuff, you're just shooting the ball, and you're just doing well with it, you know? Alright, kickoff, not gonna talk about it again, but, like, learn to speed flip. Or, you don't, actually, no, you don't have to speed flip. You just have to front flip. Like, if you front flip, if you diagonal flip, it's still way better than this. Like, let's look what Zoomer's doing. This is not a speed flip, but, like, this is way better for him. He could be holding on to this 9 boost. 17 boost even. He doesn't have to use this with the last of his boost and still get this 50. But you have to use 33 boost. Like, or else, like, even if you don't want to speed flip, you want to get there at the same time, like, you just, like, you kind of get here at the same, yeah, you get here at the same time as Zoomer. But he has the option to save, like, 20 boost, which it can be big on these situations. Like, 20 boost could really help him out here, you know. And that's fine by you, I think. A bit risky to go for the demo when you could have gotten the ball, and you could have avoided the demo also. But, yeah, like, you gotta watch, this is something that I've seen, like, Apop, he used to do. I don't think he does it as much anymore. But, you know, when you're thinking of boost management, and this is one of the big things I'm noticing so far, watch your own replays, or, you know, just think about your own plays. You have 100 boost here. If you're using it, you have to be using it for a reason. So what reason do you use it for? Alright, 88, okay. Needs to get back? Alright, 65, this is fine. You're already going pretty much supersonic. You can maybe use 12 more. You'll still be at 50. And, you know, there's a back corner boost that you'll be able to pick up eventually. Or you'll get a play on the ball. Either way, it's not too bad for you. Shouldn't have gone for that when you're already beating him to the ball, and that's, like, very risky, you know. Demos is, like, if you miss the demo, it'll be fine. and if you miss this demo, it won't be fine. Like, he scores open net. Or it's like, you will, you know, get this demo no matter what. Like, if you're beating him to the ball, like, why don't you just, like, touch this back to the corner and take corner boost? So this is definitely not the right time to go for a demo. And then 40 boost here. So you kind of already used a lot. 60 boost, and you haven't really done that much. But now, you are already going supersonic, and you're just holding boost. Look how much boost you used for absolutely no reason. Like, look at this. 41? Oh, you're already going supersonic, but, like, now you're 0. And also, he has the boost and the ball still. So, this is okay, like, when it's in a non-threatening position, like, right here. When the ball is in your corner, that is, like, the safest place for it to be. Zoomer, like, the Zoomer, does it look like Zoomer's gonna score right here? Like, what, is he gonna touch this ball up, air dribble in if you're not there? Like, sure, you kind of scare him off here, but, like, is he gonna actually score from this position if you give him more time on the ball? No. So this is, like, the situations when it's okay to give your opponent time. Because your corner is the safest spot to be. You want to let them push the ball to you when it's in your corner, and you don't want to play aggressively when it's in their corner, usually. So, here, you just should grab corner boost. Like, it's there, like, back left. If you take longer to get this ball, like, it doesn't matter. And you just get a bit too desperate for that demo. And you do chase him off his ball, but, like, now this is, like, really bad. If you were making this same play, that's the exact same play he has to make if you don't pressure him. If you're just coming from the corner, yeah, if you're just, like, if you get this corner boost, so you have 100 boost, whatever, even if you use, like, some of that, like, 20 boost for no reason, this is, like, very easy. Like, how is he gonna get this past you? The only way he gets this past you is if you, like, stay waiting in the net until he actually has a shot, but, like, you just challenge him. Like, what's he gonna do? He can't hit it off the backboard past you, because it's a backboard. You're just covering this. Or he can't hit it this way. I mean, he could hit it this way, but then you still have enough boost to get back, and he can't, like, get another shot. He'll maybe, like, push this out towards mid boost, but it's still, like, safe for you. You can still, like, best third man. That's fine. And I do kind of like this, where you're not jumping. This is good. You just 0 boost, fake challenge. Like, this is good play in the corner. It's just you shouldn't be in this situation in the first place. Yeah, like, you can't commit to this ball, because if you commit, you cannot get back. Oh, a bit dangerous. And just have a bit of a panic there, you know. He kind of scores here. I think when it's like he is shooting this ball, you have to be more of a, you know, getting in line on the goal line to make the save instead of just waiting around. You kind of do make that adjustment, but he kind of hits it on top of you, and that gives you a bad touch. And this should be a goal for Zoomer, but he's bad. Yeah. And then that's an open net for you. Flip. Alright, you know what? I said I wouldn't talk about it, but I need to talk about it. Okay, so let's see what Zoomer does here. What the heck? Alright, what Zoomer is doing is not good. Okay. Zoomer tip, if you're watching this video, this is not a speed flip, obviously. It's a side flip. You know? Does this look fast? No, you get the same ball as Cxrrxnt at the same time. And he's driving straight. If you just do, like, a diagonal or a front flip, you can just get away with using less boost on the kickoff. Like, you just use less boost and get there at the same time. And then, if you have 20 boost, Cxrrxnt has 0 in this situation, that's, like, so good. Like, it's massive. Like, you just have a free ball and mid boost. Because he can't beat you to either, if you have 20 boost even. And you end up kind of getting that, but if you had 20 boost, that would be a lot more convincing. But anyways, I'm not talking to Zoomer. So after the kickoff happens, I like this play. I mean, shadow defense, right? He starts to bring the ball this way, so yeah, start going this way. That makes sense. But you also can't just fully commit to this, and this is a strategy that I actually use on kickoffs a lot. So what I'm seeing here is just, um, you're pushing this ball to the left, which is good. You have to guard him going this way, but also if he turns on this ball and he is behind it here, so he can make it turn. Now it's not gonna be like something crazy like turning and going 180 degrees, but you have to be ready to just turn back and don't like fully commit to let him push it behind you. And this is kind of just, you go like when he starts turning, and then instead of turning back, you start turning up instead of when you should be like making this rotation back. And this is kind of what allows him to get this ball past you, because when you turn up, he's going to be like back here, and now he just pushed the ball past you. So shadowing, this should be a turn back. And it does work out, but only because he doesn't get that last touch to get it past you here, as he could have done. Like, that could just get, like, even if he gets a 50 here, now he kind of just ends up not getting a touch on this ball at all. But if he gets a 50 here, then that's like a massive win for him. But you end up, he does touch the ball. And this is fine to go for. Bit risky to go for the bump, and it's probably going to be an open net. I bet you get back to it. It's a good play. I do like this play, like, this is pretty much perfect. You just go for boost because it's not a threatening position. You don't need to be pushing the ball here because he can't score. Even if he has possession, like, if he's closest to the ball, like, this is definitely, you just get the boost, and, like, now you're fine. I think you could have tried to even control this ball, like, keep it a little bit closer. Now, of course, it would be risky to touch it middle in case he stuck around, but this is a good touch to like keep possession, even if it could have been like a little bit lighter. And then this is like a good angle to me making you play, and I like what you're doing there. I like what you're doing there with the angle with the bounce as well. What you're doing is you're taking your time here because he's so far back. You're pushing it towards his net, and you're conserving the bounce. So what you have is still a threat. Now here, I think you shouldn't even be going for this ball. If you just keep possession, wait for the next bounce, because really, when you're in this position, when you have this bounce going, you should be, after this touch, you should be assessing, can I wait till the next bounce and still get a free touch, even if he comes? And he's so far away that even if he does come for the challenge, the next bounce that happens, you will have time for. So, as it hits the ground, as he comes up here, you're still going to be in a good position. So if you let that extra bounce happen and go for the shot there, it's just a little bit more efficient. You kind of panic here, you go up for it early, and you just end up missing the net on your shot. And you keep possession, but still, if you have space, don't just shoot it early, when you still have a dangerous ball and you have possession to work with. And then a bit of a hesitation there, not too bad. This is decent shadow defense, but what it really looks like is you're waiting for him to come to you, which is, you can't do that. So this is like positioningly, like position-wise, is pretty good. You're coming along this way while he's coming this way, which, yeah, shadow defense, sure. But like, what I don't like and kind of what I don't understand is when you fake challenge, it's like you're fake challenging, you're trying to force him to flick it. And then you're not ready for him to flick it. And this might just be some like spatial awareness, like where on the field you are, where the goal is. You might be thinking you're guarding the goal here, when in reality it's like over here. But yeah, when you're pushing him, why is that so small? Hold on. What did I do? Pen size. Large? Okay, well, nope. Come back to me. Okay, excuse that, we're not going to talk about it. So when you're making this shadow defense, and they're going this way, and you're going, this way, like, yeah, you can't be like going all the way over here because then they'll have a play over here. But the point of the fake challenge, and this is what you're doing here, you're fake challenging by doing this squiggle because he thinks you're gonna challenge. He has to make a play. And what you're doing is you're forcing him to make this play, and you're just not ready for him to flick it. So you need to be ready when this fake challenge happens to make this save and get back as soon as this happens. But really, you're just waiting for something to happen so that you can turn. But you have to be ready for that because you're just like slowing down here, kind of, and you're not close to getting that save. You can't just linger, in the shadow zone. You have to either challenge it or go back when a fake challenge happens at that range. Yep, good boost grab. And this is, you know, something I already mentioned. You should be in this position, not doing this. You have so much space. Like when you see this, like he's clearly not challenging you no matter what. Like even if he instantly turns and rushes you, you're gonna have so much time to set up whatever you want. So don't just go towards net. Always try from this position when you have the time to go for one of these angles. Usually you'd want to go for this one, because it gives you more space and more options and more, vision of the play. No risk of a surprise challenge for him coming out through here. But you could also go for this one to change it up. But yeah, normally you'd want to take this ball. You don't have to go like up the wall or anything. You don't have to do that. But what you want to do is take it like a little bit on an angle and then take it like around to this far post. Then when you're on this line, you can cut it to the right and get a shot. Or you can fake it and still get it in the near post. That is your sweet spot. You want to be taking it on a line that takes it like around to the near post so that when you go for your cut, or your flick or whatever it is, you have the angle to put it in the far post, and if you fake it, you have the ability to put it in the near post. And that's just a lot safe. Even if you want to do like an early flick, if you come at it like this and you flick it this way, it's like very hard for him to make this save because he doesn't know where this flick's gonna be. Like if he's landing right here, you could flick it here or here, or like anywhere in the net. Like he can't guard the whole thing unless he's shadowing you, but he can't. Like you might think, like from these arrows, it looks like, oh, he's going directly towards you. But if you're flicking right here, I'll redraw these lines. If you're flicking, right here, kind of on the left side, and he's going this way, and your shot goes anywhere in this net, how does he defend it? He's not. You flick it before he can challenge you. Does he guard this post? He stops. Yes, he guard this post. Oh, wait. No, because he just shot it directly this corner. If he keeps going fast, then you shoot it, and he can't reach that. He just drives past it, So, when you're in this position, your opponent is, like, back. There's no chance of them challenging. Usually, I would advise this. Try to dribble it on an angle, on the outside like that. And kind of... I don't know if I'm making sense. If you're seeing this and you're like confused, you just ask me about it, I guess. And like this is just a nothing play. You just lose control of the ball, and if you had it, even if you're dribbling the ball, over here, you drop this ball, you can still do something with it because you're still on the side of the ball. You can still hit it to the right or to the left or to the fake or whatever you want. But when it's straight on, it's like you can't do anything else to it after you lose control. Okay, this is fine what you do here, but when you have 100 boosts like this is better boost management than other instances that I've seen. Like you have 80 boost, you can definitely afford to just stay near the play and shadow it, but instead, like you just run away. Like you can't even have ball cam on. Like you have no idea what's happening here, and you're running away for no reason. You have definitely enough boost to stay in this play and keep pressure on. And then you went for your corner boost, and you had 100 boosts, so like, why? And then now look how much time he has. You could have had lots of time to set up stuff. Just like, look how nice this is for him. This is really nice for him. Even if you were close enough just to, threaten like a fake challenge here, he might have to just give away this ball. But like, look how far away you are. This is really nice for him. He had time to get boost and like does whatever he wants here. And you're 100 boost back, but you had 79 boost before. Like, definitely don't want to be running away from those plays when you have that boost and you can be in position. And now if he flicks this over you, you're just done for. Oh, he gets it. Oh, the low 50. Okay. And then he misses. But yeah. And again, importance of shadow defense. I guess, this like challenge is fine to go for, but it's a risk. Like, I go for these challenges all the time, but I only go for them because they're stupid. My opponents are like, why are you monkeying? Who does that? And then they like literally have no idea. But at this rank, people just expect you to be stupid, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to roast you, but people in, say, Diamond 1 are more likely to go for these, random plays, so they don't really work out as often because they're expected. They're expecting the unexpected because of interesting stuff that can happen in that skill range. Everyone's still very good in Diamond, but there's also some, inconsistencies and randomness that you might come across that people get used to, like this challenge. So that wouldn't be the most. It's a fine to throw it in occasionally, but also in this case, up by 1, you probably don't want to take this risk. But I mean, I'm not going to judge you on it. I think it's fine, I guess. I mean, it does end up in you getting scored on, right? Yeah. And that's not really because of this challenge. Like, you might try to think about, if you're trying to improve, you might like watch this and you be like, oh, it's just a bad challenge by me. But no, sure, it's a bad challenge by you, but the real problem is this: you are not put in this position if you don't just run away from this play. Like, if you shadow this play, this is not a threat at all. Like, if you're just shadowing this ball from the side here or whatever, like, that's just not a threat. He doesn't have any control on this ball, pretty much. Well, he does a bit of control, but it's not like, if you're shadowing, it's very easy to take, and then, it's putting yourself in that situation when you don't need to. There are some situations where it's like you have 0 boost after your offense, you kind of just need to get the boost, and that can happen, but oh my god. Definitely not in that situation. It's a bit risky to get the boost, but it's okay. It's okay. I think here, like, personally, in my lobbies, I would try and stick close to this because I fear that my opponent would be able to get back to this ball, and I'd lose possession. But like, you get the you work out the timing. I think it's about the timing. But I mean, I'll explain my process anyways. I'd catch this ball, maybe grab this one pad that's like right there, and I would just. Now, this might be actually harder than I might be saying that it is, but, catching the ball with low boost and dribbling it with low boost, it's quite difficult, but that's what I would try to do. You might not be confident in doing that, because if you mess it up, then it's just giveaway position. Now you have no boost. But I try to, like, just catch it, and then, flick it super high, and then steal, like, corner boost or something. But for what it's worth, like, this is fine. I don't really know why I'm nitpicking this much. And here, what you want to do on this ball, you're beating him to this ball very clearly, and he's jumping for it. You see, he's challenging this ball. You need to get this into the corner, so he can't make it, right? You just have to hit it away from him. But what you should be doing is, like, you don't need to bang this ball. You can control it. Like, just get a light touch and stay near it. Because when someone's, like, going for this, the purpose of this touch is to hit it to the corner. Nothing else. You don't need any of this. You want to keep control of this. And this, like, makes it kind of awkward for you. Now, luckily, that bounce is, like, very lucky. But that was not really, like... You didn't plan. When you were hitting this ball, you didn't say, oh, I'm just going to hit it off the ceiling here. Like, that's not what you were thinking. You were just trying to bang this so Zoomer wouldn't get it. But ideally, if you want to get that, like, touch that's very like difficult for him to reach, instead of doing the bang up to here, do a touch like back to here, you know, because it's like the same amount of misdirection. Like he's going this way pretty much. He's not going to be able to get this just as much as he's not going to be able to get this. Probably less likely to get this one, because you know he's just going this direction, and you know he might be blocking any touch like into the corner as well. But bringing it back into here lets you grab mid boost, lets you make a wall play. Doesn't have to be an air dribble or anything, but just bringing it down. And you know, it's just you want to keep possession at all times if you can, if you have the boost, and if you're able to. And this kind of, you know, you lose control of it, you get lucky on the bounce, and yeah, the touch, you know, try it. You could just like catch this, dribble it, just keep control, like bounce. Just a light touch here, but you get a really heavy touch, and then you're afraid to commit there. Now this is good defense, you know. You're kind of stuttering a bit, like you're hesitating, a Xeno moment. You know, like if you stop here, like you kind of hit the brakes, and you know, this split moment is when he has the chance to go this way with the ball, because you slowed down and now your turn is going to be like pretty slow. So if you feel like you need to slow down in these kind of situations, like you're a bit awkward, try to keep your speed and then just like turn back earlier, and then I'll give you I mentioned like don't try to be like too far away on your shadows, but if you're like actually in an awkward positioning, then just giving yourself just a little bit more space. Keep the speed going and direct it to going backwards, giving yourself a little bit more space to correct it, and then you can like slow down like a little bit. Don't hit the brakes at all. Just like start feathering, you know, the throttle for like not even like half a second, like just to bring it between that ideal spacing, you know. And here I think this is when you could make things interesting, because from where he is on the ball, he can't really push this right, and he can't push it up the wall really either, because he's not like directly on the side of the ball. So he can hit it like this way, but then it's going to roll back down. So here you're in a pretty good position. Once you get this mid boost, I think you should be making a play on this ball. Yeah. So now his only option is to hit it up the wall. If you fake challenge here, just a quick little whoop, and you can go as far up the, like you can go like way further up the wall. This is not low risk because he can't put this on your net. He can only like clear this, not on the wall. It's like 3D, hard to do that, but like clear it weakly, you know. Maybe he puts it up and then he flips it off the wall. Like here, this is a situation where you're just going too slow on your shadow defense. You know, put some pressure on this ball. Don't just stand still. Like you're just watching this play. You're not doing anything. If you watch from Zoomer's POV, like this is very, like that was a pretty good fake challenge there. It was convincing. It made Zoomer had to do something. He jumped, and then he lands, recovers well. But now, you are not doing anything. Just anything. A half turn, just going up the wall and going back again. This is not a dangerous position, so you can be a bit more risky on. Because if he gets this ball over you, you just need to make sure you can get back to it faster than him. And now you just wait around. And this could be a goal for him. Because you didn't do anything, you know. And this is another thing about, you know, shadowing. He's on the outside of you when you're shadowing, which you have to be on the outside of him. Now, if you don't literally want to be on the wall, of course, but you need to not leave any space for him to get this way, and you are giving him space for him to get this past you, you know, and keep control of the ball. So trying to like maybe drive onto this ramp so you can get this turn this way. And you know, you see that's not what happens. He does get on this side of you, but that is actually the fault of you being too close over here, because now you're pointing your car this way to guard this. and you know, you're like kind of shadowing the right side, pointing left. You kind of see that, but really you have to be like more like pointing this way. And it would be better in this position to just, even if you're over here, like face this way. Don't face the left, face the right, because that is much more of a threat than him pushing it into the corner. You know. Oh my god. And you know, this is you kind of being indecisive. You don't know the shadow defense, the fake challenges, but you just slow down way too much. You never want to just be, you know, slowing down, waiting for the ball to come for you, because that's what you're happening. That's what's happening right here. Your speed is so slow that anything happens and he just goes past you because you're moving so slow. You want to be at a speed where you can get to supersonic before he is able to drive past you, and you're clearly like you're not doing that. You can tap boost, you can feather it if you want. In situations like this, you have 100. And especially here, like, when this starts to happen, you know, he gets this ball, this touch here, you have to turn this way, because he is lining up to flip off the wall into this ball, or do anything. He's directly on the side of this ball to push it this way. And if he sees you going here, like, it's a no-brainer. He's going that way. And even if you want to be, like, still shadowing the ball, you don't have to challenge him and, like, push up that way. But your turn can't just go all the way around into the corner. You should try to, like, maybe even push for the corner boost if you want. So you can just start holding boost, since that's not going to be a problem for you. But, you know, leaving that gap for him. And he does score off of it. Biggest thing is the shadow defense, I think. Kickoffs, getting the flip in. Kickoff roll? Okay. I mean, you know, kickoffs, if you're either going to commit to scoring it or you're going to commit to possession. And I think you're not sure which one here. You don't do either, you know. He's able to get back. Maybe you didn't think he was going to get back. You were committing to scoring it. But either you kind of wait for this ball to give it a bit more time, and then you give it a bit of a wider turn to shoot it. No, not that wide. Jeez. Not go for the boost, but like something like this. And then get that on net, you know. Or just getting mid boost and making a dribble play somewhere around here. Well, this is just giving the ball away. And then also a bad challenge by you. Good, like, a boost pick up there, obviously. Pads, good to be looking out for them. But yeah, this is probably a better situation to fake challenge. You know, when it's the opponent's corner, you really never want to commit, because it's a pretty safe place. Even if you get this challenge, like, he's not gonna let you score this. It's not gonna go into his goal. Like, he's not that dumb, right? He's not gonna be like, oh, I sure hope Current doesn't dunk me and the infamous reads directly into the goal. Like, he's not gonna be at least be covering that, even if he doesn't fully expect you to challenge. And just doing something to make him do this touch, like a fake challenge, would work out much more nicely in this situation. Especially since you've already been scored off from doing a challenge like that. Probably not the best idea to be doing it again. Kickoffs, learn to flip. Unfortunate, but you get corner boost and he's too far away. That's fine to go for the aerial if you're scared, I guess. Ooh, you're getting destroyed. Okay. So if we just go back to here, you know, it's fine if you just didn't really know how close he was. I mean, I think you should try to get this corner boost, but, you know, you miss it, it's fine. But, like, why are you, like, if you are in this situation, either, you know, you should just, like, bang this ball out or 50 this ball. Like, do something with it. Because here you think you have time, and then now you're scared. And then now you do this because you tried to dunk him because you panicked. You thought he might shoot it. And you're missing the ball. So, you know, that happens. It happens to me. It happens to everybody. But just when you're in this position, just single jumping here and hitting the ball. Like, if you just single jump and just start pushing the ball this way, then you can save your flip and then, so single jump, either the ball just goes out this way or it gets 50'd, and then you can flip, there, like, whichever way you want. Like, saving your flip, I'd say that's a pretty good tip. Oops. But yeah, if you're scared, then in that situation, I think it would be better to just do a 50. The technique, you could use the technique of just doing a single jump and then flipping to wherever it goes. But I don't know. You might. I wouldn't say it's like this is a tip that's gonna make you hit GC3. Like, it's a good tip, but I wouldn't be forcing it on you. And that's a good challenge there. That's good because the way you're turning, and I mean boost management could be a bit better here, but the way you're turning is you're turning right, and that's where he's going. But you're also not fully committed to this, so you can also push up this, and this is just good because the second he kind of messes up his touch here, he starts to turn, he gets a bit greedy, then you're able to get the shot. Flip. Just gonna say it every time. Okay. Okay, you have to be taking your time on these. Like, you have so much time, man. This is the biggest thing. Taking your time. Like, even if, I mean, I don't know why you're like, you kind of turned to the left instead of to the right, which would have given you a better angle, but like, it's fine. Like, where is Zuma right now? He's not even in like the same time zone, bro. He's in EST, bro. Like, you kind of like panic to get to this ball and like take the bounce, but like, you don't need to do this. You're just passing the ball to him. You could even let this ball bounce another time, and if he starts going for it, then you do something with it. Like, you should only feel the urge to make a play on the ball if he's actually pushing it. Now, you might think, oh, I don't want to waste this bounce when this happens. But this is fine, because if he starts going for this ball, you just wait here. Like, let him come to you. He's not shadowing it, so this is fine. And when he starts coming to you, then you can, like, maybe go out for the wall, like, do a shot like this, or just start playing it, you know? And this isn't a problem because of how much time you have. The last thing you want to be doing is, like, giving the ball away, you know? And this could be excusable if your shot is, like, very good. You have a setup to maybe do, like, a double tap like that. But usually, unless you're like, I will score this if I shoot it, or I will put a good shot on to make him panic so I can boost start him or something like that, then, you know, don't do this. I don't know, maybe it was a mechanical mistake. You meant to, like, bounce it, but still. I do like, oh, okay, well, your turns are kind of weird. Like, you put him in a bit of an awkward position, like, this is good. And then once this happens, like, you have a free ball. So, if you have this ball right here, it's clearly, like, going this way. And you can, like, meet it easily. He is in a bit of an awkward position, and you're going to beat him to the ball as long as you don't, you know, get greedy and start turning directly towards him, and he'll just dunk you. But when you have this ball, you should probably, like, turn and bring it up the wall like this, instead of kind of like you're pushing this and then you just turn back, you know, and that puts you in a bit of an awkward position. Now, like, why are you going so far back, you know? Like, you don't have to actually commit to this ball by going up the wall here. If you touch this ball up the wall and you stay near it, you don't actually have to commit to anything. You just stay next to this ball. Like, he can't aerial for this. If he aerials for this, like, bang, you just shoot it. You just stay next to this ball, and then either he challenges you, you stay still, or he goes back. Now, if you're staying up next to this ball on the wall, he challenges you, shoot it. He stays still, you can shoot it. Also, or you can keep control because he's gonna be freaking weird, bro. He's gonna be ratted, bro. He goes back. Don't do this because now you're committing to a play that he's gonna have an easy save on. Then you just come back down, and now you have a free ball. So in this situation, you don't really want to be. I mean, when it comes off the wall like this, and you don't really have enough boost to make a play, it can be tempting. And I don't think it's like the worst of plays, but when you're doing this, just try to like maybe don't even flip into this ball. Just try to like jump, light touch. Imagine what would happen if you got a light touch. It's very hard to defend light touches if they don't even go as far as the backboard. He's like, here, if you bang this ball, then he gets it after the backboard bounce. You know, if you get a light touch, he can't wait for it after the backboard bounce. He's gonna have to be. There's no momentum for him to work with. It takes him more time to catch this ball, and you won't be flipping into this ball, so you land way faster. Like, you could be landing as this ball is landing right now. Think about it. If you don't flip, you just do this. You'll be landing at the same time as this ball is currently landing. And where that ball is landing. You could follow it up. You have time to get back and shatter that. But instead he has an open net. Now, he misses his open net because he's Cameron. And then that's a goal anyways. Okay, well. Like here, grab more pads. And okay, well, here you need to be grabbing more pads, like 12 boosts. There are, a few pads you could be grabbing. Some of these, maybe not this one, but still, 12 boost. In this situation, you might want to try for one of those at least. You get this one, but this is, when you're defending a backboard, and I'm gonna mention it again, Spook Luke. I know him because I faced him in twos once. But when you're defending like a backboard bounce, sure you need to be getting back to this quickly, but it's so much easier to defend it if you're going from one of the sides because you get a head-on view of it. Like, how do you read this without how do you actually clear this ball? It's very difficult and it's just not very convenient for you. If you just do anything other than straight on. Like, even if you want to get back fast, like, sure, let's say you have to get back fast because he's about to score. But just doing something like this, like the slightest thing. Once you see him do this, turn away, then you have the freedom to do that. And if you did that, instead of just jumping right here, you would have been able to be in a better position off of that. Because you would have had a better read on the ball, and you wouldn't be, jumping directly backwards. Flip. Yeah, this is fine. You're just heading it away, but you keep possession. Like, this is good. I like this. This is very good. This is very good. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. When you have this dribble, and he's like, you don't really see him on your screen, but you see he turns away here. You see him turn away from the ball, so no threat of a challenge. And, okay, this is kind of weird from this position, so I'll go into the fly. But, when this happens, earlier on, you've just been, go towards net. But here, what you do is instead you go like this. And this is, like, pretty much ideal for you. Just going, that was a weird line, but, going around like this, so that if you fake, you can slide it in the near post. Or if he turns to challenge you at any point, he looks like he might challenge you. You flick it anywhere you want, or you fake it behind him because he panics. He thinks you might flick it, and that is the power of this kind of angled dribble. And, like, let's see what happens here. This is pretty good. You just weren't like you would destroy him on that 50 if you were ready for it. Like, look how awkward he is when you turn this way. He is driving backwards. Now, your 50, if you actually like a solid 50 on this ball, excuse me, he's flipping backwards, and you were like instantly gonna get back to this ball. Now, you didn't really get a great 50, so it didn't work out. But I mean, that's good to know. So, I like the touch, but it's also, too far away, too heavy of a touch. Too light is better than too heavy in this position, just because of how far away he is. But if you want to rush into the net, then yeah, I see it. And that just gets away from you too much. I like the fake challenge. And this is a situation where you might want to run away from the play, not shadow, just because you don't have a lot of boost. But also, when you do this, don't look away from the play and then flip. Flip like as soon as you see this, and then you look away. Because like, look how you have no idea what he's doing here. What is he doing? What is he doing? Oh, that could be going in your net right now. You're just not on ball. Like, try and, if you're in those situations, even if like mid flip, use your ball cam, because you can't turn anyways. You can flick it on and off. You can see the boost flick on car and ball cam. You don't need to be on it the whole time. Just make checkups on where the ball is. Oh, the first touches I think could use work. The free play stuff like this, you don't want to be getting heavy touches. You want to be getting very light touches to stay with this. And this is, very dangerous, because this could be giving him a free shot. And it does give him, a shot that you have to be forced to save, and now you're dead because you had to get that. That's third man. I remember freaking out of that. I mean, game is over at this point. You've given up. You're desperate for goals. You just, yeah. I mean, like, obviously, on this challenge, it's like, it's fine for you to go for it. But, like, even if it wasn't fine for you to go for that, it's 9 seconds left and you have to score right now, so. And that should be game. Yeah. I mean, it is game. I knew it was game. Well, yeah, just get an instant replay on best third man. Oh my gosh, I remember freaking out of that. That was a good save. How did you do that? Ridiculous. Okay, well, that's about it. I definitely think learn to flip on your kickoffs, even if it's not a speed flip, just flipping before, just so you can save boost. But speed flip would be recommended to learn. And just the shadowing, what you're doing with possession, the mechanics could be improved. Just your ground, your first touches, keeping control there. I wouldn't say anything specific, but you kind of like know what I highlighted there. Like any one big thing, But the few things that I highlighted there would be like the main things I'd say would be holding you back.